to infinity and
Hi,
beyond.
it's George and James here from DisKingdom. In this episode, we're just going to be talking a little bit loose. It's Friday. It's time to just kind of talk about what we've been playing, what we've been doing, what we're looking forward to, etc. So, James, what have you been playing the last week or two?
Well, we've been playing a little Disney Emoji Blitz. We've got the Disney Afternoon collection going on. By the time this posts, that will be done. So hopefully I was able to complete it and get one of the diamond boxes, but I bet probably not. I've also been playing, of all things, Star Wars, The Old Republic, the MMO.
Oh, right, good. Okay, that's good for future note, because it's a game I want to get into, but I'm still like, should I try?
I mean, it does have a free option, and the free option is severely handicapped, but it is perfectly playable, so there is that. I've just had a Star Wars itch. Like, I think last week or the week before I was talking about I was playing Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game. I'm still I'm logging into it once a day and just kind of messing around with it, but it didn't scratch the Star Wars itch the way I wanted. And what I'm really looking for is, a game like Force Unleashed, but I've already played through the Force Unleashed a couple of times, and I'm looking for something new. So I'm trying different things out. We'll see if the Old Republic manages to hold my interests or not. If not, maybe try Republic Commando, which was a great shooter game back in the day, and I wouldn't mind playing that again. Although with Battlefront 2 right around the corner, I suspect that will take the shooter spot. So I mean that's been the majority of it. I've also been playing, some Chroma Squad bit by bit. That's the Xbox game I've got a review I have to write for. I just, oh man, it's just so boring. It's not a bad game. It's just boring.
Yes, because sometimes that's the thing as well. You can play a game and it's like it could be, everyone could have rated it a 9 or a 10 out of 10, but if you don't like it, it can be a bit of a chore to kind of play through it and stuff. For me, mobile wise, I found like Contest of Champions has actually been that and Emoji Blitz have become like the two games I've been playing in the evening after Disney Magic Kingdoms. Which, on a side note, we know Aladdin update is coming, but as a time of recording, that we'll be talking about it on next week, so there'll be a whole episode. But those two ones, having now had a flood of games on my iPad of like, what do I want to play? I think its Contest of Champions is so different to everything else. And I like beat 'em ups, and it's simple. It's I'm playing through the story mode. That's been quite fun. Disney Emoji Blitz. So now like that, between that Emoji Blitz and Magic Kingdoms, I've got quite a variety. I have tried the Star Wars ones, but they're just not quite fitting what I want from a game.
Yeah, that's the issue that I've been having with the Star Wars ones. Like, I wouldn't mind playing, say, Force Arena or Commander or something, but they're all PvP-centric. They have no single player to speak of. And while, say, Galaxy of Heroes does have a PvP aspect to it, the majority of it is really just playing Pokemon and trying to collect as many characters as you want. And the PvP is just one of many avenues. But for the most part, I'm sitting here going, like, I want to play these games, but they're not for me.
No, so I think for me as well, I've even been dabbling a bit with Future Fight as well, because I like that kind of, if you want to hit someone, you just hit a button. I don't like turn-based stuff. It just doesn't work for me.
I wish Future Fight was actually like a full release. They don't even need to upgrade the graphics or anything, but I wish it was something that I could play on one of my consoles, because it's a game that really needs a controller, a proper controller.
Yeah. It's like when you said an autoplay, it's like, well, why am I doing this? But anyway, console-wise, I finished off the main story, that's me done now, for Uncharted 4. I played through and completed Uncharted 4, the full story. Epic game. It does feel like when you're playing that, you feel like it's definitely that level of, this is how you feel like you're playing through a movie of, it's a linear story, but I did find it quite funny of like, you need to save we need to save your brother, by effortlessly murdering 100 people en route to go and do it. And I'm glad we made it out alive. You just slaughtered hundreds of people without even. He's a mass murderer.
It's one of those times. I know what you're talking about. I haven't played Uncharted 4, but I've played halfway through number 2. I'm gonna get through it eventually at some point, but when I'm playing through these games, I'm reminded of a lesser known title that came out a couple of years ago, and dang it, I'm really drawing a blank on it, but it was based on a book, and it was a shooter game, a third-person shooter, and it really started to screw with your mind because you kind of going, you're indiscriminately killing far more people than these bad guys ever killed. And it actually, by the end of the game, you're just like, wait, who was the bad guy, them or me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must admit, Uncharted 4 are great. I've completed 1, 3, and 4. I had a problem with Uncharted 2. I had the collection a couple of Christmases ago. Every time I got to a certain point in the game, it kept crashing. Constantly. I must have tried about 20 times to the point where I just jumped into 3. And of course, that was it then. So it's that weird thing of I've completed 1, 3, and 4 and half of 2. So definitely the new version came out last week, but I'm gonna hold off until I see that one on sale. I think having just finished 4, I'm a bit like, yeah, need to leave that the Lost Legacy for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wait for quite some time to pick up Lost Legacy because I haven't even played 3 or 4 yet. So, but it's on my list. It's one of those things where I keep coming back to the fact where I'm like, I really am not a fan of the PlayStation console. I don't like the UI. I don't like the controller. I don't like all these things about it. But dang it, its game library is just fantastic right now. So,
yeah. See, I've had a really odd. I think after finishing Uncharted 4, I've been a bit like, we've been playing a few games differently, like, Dead Rising. I even chucked in some Ghosts and Ghouls while I was there doing it, and I was late that night. Played some Cars 3 to get some footage. Played a bit of Just Cause 3 because got the that came through on PlayStation. I played through Just Cause 1 and liked the story and stuff, but I'm doing the second one and I'm a bit like, I think coming off of, I said the other day, this year I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider, Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, Uncharted 4. Having done some massive, free roaming adventure games, probably some of the best games that have been released in the last few years, if not of all time. Just Cause 3 is a bit like, this feels clunky. It just feels...
Yeah.
I think I've played so many amazing games that it's like, okay, hold off that. I've been I was tempted to pick up Hellblade, and I decided I'm going to wait off that a little bit. That looks a bit fun. I know Sonic Mania is out this week, and I actually feel a little bit like I need a palette change, and Sonic Mania will be my palette change for a week, because essentially it's like this odd one. There's a few games coming up over the next couple of months, that were appealing, and now they're not. They were like, Wario versus, that was like, no.
Mario versus Rabbids.
Yeah, I'm like, no, skip that. Marvel versus Capcom isn't for another month. And I'm a bit like, there's lots of little games out, but really I should just try and knuckle down. I'm almost feeling like Sonic Mania will give me a little bit of a mess about with, and I need to kind of get back into Kingdom Hearts and finish that off. But I'm almost feeling like, I think having had so many major epic open world games, I do need something a little bit different for a bit, just to kind of get me off. Because I'm just thinking now, you've got Mario. I might even just try, because I love those kind of games. To play through all those games back to back shows that that's the kind of game I like.
Yeah, it's very important as gamers, just like watching movies, watching TV shows, you need to mix it up sometimes. You can't just be constantly watching Game of Thrones, followed by Walking Dead, followed by, The Sopranos, and all these just bleak, dreary, everyone dies shows. Sometimes you got to mix it up. You got to throw in DuckTales or whatever, It's a completely different experience, and if you're going into a show expecting Game of Thrones and you come out getting DuckTales, that's going to be a little bit of a... But games are the same.
Yeah. I mean, I picked up Splatoon 2, and it's like one of those games that I've just I played for a couple of hours and I just didn't... I don't know what it is. I've not been drawn back to it at all. It's been a bit of an odd... It was an odd time. I thought I was going to like it more than I did. Maybe if I gave it a bit more time. I should probably jump back into it a little bit. But that, I see a lot of people playing it and a lot of people enjoying it. It's kind of become, I think, like the new Overwatch. And it's a bit like, see, those games don't hold my attention the same way that an epic story does. And I think that's why Hellblade is appealing to me, because it's only like a 7-8 hour experience. I know I could probably get rid of that one in a week, but yeah, it's like another one. I thought Just Cause 3 would give me the next one, but I played it for an hour or so, and I was just like, that whole mechanic I played before, and I remember skydiving and doing all this, but I was a bit like, man, I'm jumping and I'm like just whacking into a wall. It feels Breath of the Wild has just ruined me.
I mean, it's not even just that. When you get down to it, Just Cause 3 does one thing very well, which is explosions and ways of causing explosions and doing them in inventive ways. But they didn't really hook much of a story onto it. There's really no purpose to going into it except to make prettier and bigger explosions, which certainly can be fun. There are definitely times I'm just like, I'm just going to load up Just Cause 3. I'm just going to load up Shadow of Mordor, just because, sometimes all I want to do is slaughter a bunch of Uruk-hai or make a bunch of explosions. But as an experience, it's not the thing where you sit down and go, all right, you know what, for the next 2 weeks, I'm just going to play Just Cause 3 and blow through the story mode and do all the side missions stuff. It's not, you wouldn't feel fulfilled doing that.
No. It's better that I feel like I'm in this point now where it's like I've got a couple of weeks, sort of a few weeks of no major sort of stuff out that I want to pick. I'm like, right, I need to just, I feel quite good in some ways because I feel like I've got rid of some of the big games from my back catalogue. This, finishing Horizon Zero Dawn and Uncharted 4 within a month of each other was like, okay, that's good. That's just like 2 big epic games. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just have a couple of weeks of floundering. Of just jumping around a bit. I'm looking forward to Sonic Mania. I played it last year at an event. I had the Genesis. I had Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic Pinball, Sonic vs. Knuckles, Sonic Mega CD, Sonic Robotnik. That was an era that I was a kid that I loved, and I played all those games. So Sonic Mania being a sequel to that, to Sonic and Knuckles, fits that, because it's like I'm going to be straight back in there and enjoying, and so I am looking forward to playing this game, which I would have been playing this week, but ahead of the Telltale game coming out next week and stuff. Episode 3, is it? I think, yeah. Yes,
episode 3 of 5. I mean, I don't have the connection to Sonic. I never had a Sega Genesis growing up. I didn't get a Sega until the Dreamcast, and then I also picked up a Saturn after the fact, but it had Shining Force 3, which was a fantastic game, and I loved it. So I don't regret that decision, but there really was not much on the Saturn to play. But I loved my Dreamcast, too.
See, I do remember when the Saturn came out, it was a bit like, I didn't buy it. It's like the only... it was like one of the... I think at the time, the PlayStation had become fully... that was the game to play everything on. And the Saturn just wasn't hitting that kind of mark. I remember, and I think as well. I mean, it was about £300-400 back then. I mean, I remember paying for £300 for my PlayStation 1, and I had to wait months to get it from Sony. So back then, I tended to only have the one. You picked the horse because that's all you could afford. I was stacking shelves in the supermarket for £2 an hour. It was, you only had so much money to kind of go at that point. So I do remember buying a Dreamcast and playing Sonic Adventure, and of course it was 3D, and it was like, this isn't Sonic, this isn't what I like, and there is this real big, I've seen a lot of people going, well, I like Sonic 3D games. I don't, this Sonic Mania, it's like, maybe it's not for them, and I'm like, you missed the best, but that was the 3D stuff was awful compared to never matched it.
Yeah, Sonic didn't make the 3D transition gracefully. Mario did it very well. Sonic didn't. And if I was going to do a Sonic game, I think Sonic Mania would definitely be one of them, or just going back and playing the originals, or the ones that they released a couple of years ago, the episodic Sonic games. Those were pretty fun too. I mean,
the cool thing with Sonic Mania is I think it's only like £16. It's
it's
a real cheap, but they know what they're doing with it. But again, They've released a digital version or a physical version without a physical disc in it. I don't quite get that. I was just like, oh, wait.
Yeah, they wanted to have the special edition, but not actually produce the game,
Yeah.
which a little cake and eating it too kind of scenario. So yeah, I can understand why people are upset about that. I know that over on the Res Discord, people have been moaning about that, and justifiably so. It's definitely an odd decision. If I'm getting a collector's edition, I kind of want the physical copy as well.
But no, that's cool. Like I said, lots and stuff out. It's been dabbling bits and pieces and stuff in there. Yeah, it's just it's that kind of thing. And I think I do feel like I need to just I'm just messing about in a few games and not really kind of getting into anything too deep and just having a bit of fun with it because, yeah, I think I put up in the Discord is like, these are the games I've finished this year. I think Bad Gamer was just like, whoa, it's a pretty, there are some really big games in there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a pretty good list, but I'm in the same boat at the moment where I'm kind of a little aimless in what I'm playing, and if I want to get games done, I definitely should not have installed the Old Republic because MMOs are not designed to let you play other games at the same time.
Yeah. There was a night the other night I was going to fire up Marvel Heroes and just do like an hour of blasting and stuff. It's like, I was like, yeah, I could do that. All right, and I thought, it's like, and I don't know why I ended up playing like Force Unleashed on the Xbox because I was recording some Capcom footage for the episodes, and it's like I can't be bothered to fire up my PlayStation and get up. I mean, yeah, pressing the button on the controller, it's like, oh, it's installed and like, and I'll record that for an episode instead. I'm just like, yeah, that'll do.
It's kind of weird. It's like the modern, conundrum. We've got all of these games, especially mobile games, but also MMOs that are designed specifically to try to force us to play as much as possible with them, but there's no true end game to them. Disney Magic Kingdoms, there's always another event right around the corner. Disney Emoji Blitz, there's no end to it because it's just Tetris. MMOs are designed to, you come in and sign back into dailies and stuff like that, and when you get down to it, you're like, all I'm doing is playing this so that I can play more of this.
But there's nothing more satisfying when you see the credits come up and you're done.
Yeah.
And you can take the disc out and you can put it on the shelf and it's done. All the DLC, all the extra challenges, you could go back and do that. For me, that is like, those end credits mean you're done. It's time now for that game. You've put all your time in, all the effort is done. You have completed it. You have done it. And now it's time. And there's that thing of like, that feels, and if I don't get that, it's like, I think Marvel Alliance, I remember I got to the final boss and I was there for 2 hours and I could not beat, and that's it, done. And there is that nagging little Kingdom Hearts, Dream Dot Distance, I'm on the second to last boss, hours and hours of trying to beat, and it's like, no, but it's still, I've not completed it. I've not done, I've put 25 hours into the game, but it's not done. It's not, I've not seen, you don't watch the end of it, but it's that little tick, isn't it? It's just like thing of like, I just want it done.
Yeah, and where is done in a mobile game? Yeah. Where is done in an MMO?
It's deleted.
It's when the game is deleted, when you've just had enough of the constant bull, or as is increasingly common, especially in mobile games, is when they shut the servers off.
Yeah. I definitely feel like for me, this whole thing of like game services and stuff, I do just generally just feel like and you watch podcasts and stuff like that, and it's like, no, it's like, what's that this week? What's that this month? I don't want, it's like, when they talk about Marvel versus Capcom and Star Wars Battlefront 2 being services, the new content will bring me back, but I'm not playing this game for the next 12. I did it with Disney Infinity 2 and Disney Infinity 1. It's like, I can't do that anymore. I need variety.
But in fairness, Disney Infinity 1 and Disney Infinity 2, especially 2, and then again with 3, with the toy boxes, at the very least, you were getting new content that had specific endpoints. Yeah. You played a toy box level, and it was done. You might not have gotten the credits, but you knew, I've completed that toy box. I can delete it off my system. Yeah. I'm done. Never have to touch it again. Whereas, you talk about Disney Magic Kingdoms. Well, all right, I've pulled in all the missions. Now I've assigned all the missions, and I'll have to log in again in 6, 8, 24 hours, whatever.
It was funny because my wife, she picked up my iPad. She went on to Disney Magic and she was, what's this game? Show me what to do. Because I've tried to show her before to get her to it on iPad. And she went, well, what's there to do? Well, nothing now because I've sent them all off on missions. And she goes, well, that's a load of rubbish.
And you know, sometimes that's all you need too, is that moment of recognition where you're just like, yo, what am I playing this game for? Oh, I'm playing this game because I do a podcast about this game. That's why I'm playing. But
well, I got to
no,
admit, I have got hooked. But there is that weird thing of like, I find even with that game, play it during the event. The event burns me out for a couple of weeks. It's like now I would log in once or twice a day. I'm just like, I burn out on that event, and then once I got Scar, I was just like, yeah, and I'm just sliding off for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna dabble in it once or twice a day, but I'm not. Everything gets set on 12 and 8 hour shifts. Just like off you go.
Yeah, I log in when I wake up after morning stuff, and then I log in before I go to sleep, and I send them off on missions. I'm trying to get Scar leveled as high as possible because we found that the event villains tend to be involved in the next event for whatever reason, and we don't know yet if Aladdin's going to be an event or if it's going to be story content. So I want Scar available, but yeah, with the event, I don't feel like I need to check on the game every handful of hours. There's very little incentive for me to put it. I'm working on Bagheera, unlocking Bagheera right now, but literally the shortest one for one of his items is 12 hours.
Yeah.
So
I'm still unlocking Mother Gothel, and I think I need one more item to get Bullseye.
Yeah. Well, Bullseye, fortunately, is pretty quick. Even though you need a lot of items, they just drop really quickly. Bagheera, which unlocks after Mowgli and after you unlock another area, of course, you need 20 of each item, not counting, the basic item. And each of them can only be done by 2 sets of people, and one of them is a 12-hour action, and one of them is a 24-hour action. So unless you're willing to spend gems to speed up the process, you're looking at like a month or more.
Yeah, I think it's been done on purpose. But
absolutely.
We'd love to know what you guys are playing. Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to know what you guys are doing. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Check us out over at DisKingdom. We've also got the giveaway to be checking out as well. James, where can I find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com.
And on that, guys, so thank you very much for watching. See you guys soon. Later.